Welcome back to Bob and Dee Soul Searchers. Last time at the Oamaru Blue Penguin Colony, we learned so much about the breeding cycles of the little blue penguins, along with so much about the seals that surrounded the colony. This time, we're going to be doing a little bit of a deep dive into the rehabilitation process of some of the wayward penguins they find out in town and out at sea. So come along with us as we wrap up our journey today at the Oamaru Blue Penguin Colony here in New Zealand.
Life's a mystery that's staring back at me like a mirror.
Oh, hi, my name's Henry. I'm the environmental team leader here at the Oamaru Blue Penguin Colony. We're going to head into our rehab facility here where we have a couple of little penguins and a tawaki Fod Crested Penguin. So we're going to feed them and then we're going to swim a few in the pool. And then hopefully we can check them over, make sure they're in good condition because we're planning on releasing them tomorrow morning. So let's go have a look.
That does not look like a little blue.
No, not a little blue penguin, that one. That's the Fod Crested Penguin, or the tawaki. You can see it's got those yellow crests right above its eyes there. Beautiful penguin. So we do get a few of this species at this time of year showing up in this region. This species breeds in Fiordland over on the west coast of the South Island. But before they molt, before they grow all their new feathers, they do this big trip far down south, down to the subantarctic front, this pre-molt trip to put on a lot of weight to molt. And sometimes on the return journey, they come up on the east coast of the South Island and inevitably they come ashore in often quite exposed, dangerous locations. So this individual was found in Timaru, just about an hour north of Oamaru, in a pretty dangerous spot. So he's been brought to us to molt safely.
Okay, and then he's going to be reintroduced into the wild.
Yeah, once he's got his fresh new feathers and lovely and waterproof again, we will happily send him back where he belongs.
Excellent.
So in here we do have a couple of little penguins. So I'm going to feed them their dinner and I'm going to pop them in the pool to have a bit of a swim.
Okay. So they're safe for the rehab pool, just not safe for the ocean yet.
Yeah, well, because when these penguins came to us, they still had their fluffy brown down feathers. So we just needed to get them to that fledging age, that fledging stage, let them grow all those blue feathers, and they've just done that. So now that they've done that, we'll swim them, we'll check their waterproofing, and then we can send them on their way.
Okay.
I'm going to wrap them up like this, and when I feed them, I'm going to be really careful to make sure I don't get any of the fish and the oils and things on the bird's feathers, because it's not good for the condition of them. So when these guys are fed by their parents, of course the parents have been out at sea all day foraging, and they're returning in the evenings. And by then it'll sort of be a partially digested sort of slop that will then get regurgitated back to those chicks. So there we go.
How old would you say that one is?
About 8 weeks.
About 8 weeks.
Yeah, about 8 weeks.
What geographic locations are little blue penguins?
So they're found around the entirety of the New Zealand coastline and then also in southern Australia as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do the little blue penguins fit into where's their niche in the ecosystem?
Where's their niche? Well, penguins generally are fairly high up in the food web, they are. Obviously, they do have a few predators out there in the ocean. They have natural predators in the form of sharks and sea lions and the like. So just below them, I suppose, but fairly high up. Yeah, and I guess penguins in general, because they're quite high in the food chain, in the ecosystem there, they have often been considered sentinels or indicators of the marine environment. If penguin populations aren't doing particularly well, that's a key indication that everything beneath them in that food web, all those foraged fish and plankton and whatnot may be struggling as well.
How do these little guys communicate with each other?
Well, tonight, when you're watching the penguins come home, if you listen out very carefully, you may be able to hear one of the ways that they communicate in the form of a contact call that they make. So in the evening, you'll see that they come together, they form these groups known as rafts, and they let off this sort of monosyllabic sort of quack-like call that helps them sort of gather together and form those rafts. So that's one way they communicate out in the ocean. because as it starts to get darker tonight and lots of penguins will have made their way home, you'll hear all sorts of strange noises from within the colony, where they're courting with each other, or there could be males letting off these territorial calls. I'm not going to be able to impersonate those noises. I won't even try. You just have to listen out. Yeah, but they make some pretty amazing noises to communicate. Yeah, too right.
And just in case you're curious, this is what they sound like.
Well, we're wishing these little guys much success in their future endeavors. And hopefully their stint in rehab has enabled them to get strong enough to survive out there in the wild.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had such a great time getting to see how the facility helps rehabilitate the penguins so that they can thrive in the wild. Let's head back to Dr. Agnew to wrap up today's adventure.
Well, we have really had an in-depth and extensive review of the blue penguin colony and really learned a lot today, and appreciate all your efforts both in educating us, helping us educate others, and entertain others, hopefully. And, you know, more than anything in your conservation efforts, because it's really important what you do. What kind of impact would you say that you have had on the sustaining of blue penguins in the environment?
I would say that if it weren't for the penguin colony itself, if we weren't here protecting them, trapping the predators, reducing disturbance and providing their breeding habitat, probably gradually the population would have decreased and risk of it disappearing altogether. But instead we've got a couple of really good, solid, thriving populations in the area that the birds will spill out into other areas and go and breed elsewhere. And not only that, we're providing a lot of information that other colonies can learn from and learn to help their penguins in the same way.
And you certainly help to educate us, and in turn, we want to educate other people. But say somebody wanted to make a difference and really said, this cause, man, this is a great thing. How can I help? What would you advise them to do?
I guess there are a couple of different ways. All of our revenue that we get and that we use to provide for all of the work that we do is all from visitors coming in and enjoying our facility. So that revenue from the visitation, plus we do have an Adopt a Penguin program. So if people aren't in New Zealand or can't make it this far, they can adopt a penguin from their home country. And so they will get their own individual photo of the penguin, a certificate, some information about the penguin, and then they can log into our website and have a look at our live streams that are publicly accessible 24 hours of the day, and they can see what the general penguin populations are up to. So yeah, and then we give that lasts for a year, and we give a bit of information, a bit of an update throughout the year about that person's adopted penguin.
Very good. And I found you on Facebook as well after having adopted a penguin several years in a row, and so it's been really cool for me. I'm a Facebook fan, so I like following you on there. And it was really interesting to watch you shoot a little bit of video for your Facebook page today, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So check out the Oamaru Blue Penguin Colony on Facebook, and are you on?
We're on Instagram
as well.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions, I think, or comments, then you can always get a hold of the colony.
Yeah, either direct through commenting or sending us a message, either on Facebook or Instagram. We'll always reply to the messages on either platform. Thank you so much for supporting us, for adopting a penguin, for your generosity there, and for coming to visit and sharing this facility with us just by being here.
Great.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. We really appreciate the welcome you've given us, and I'll be back year after year.
Yeah. Good. I hope
All
so.
right.
Well, that's it for this episode of Soul Searcher, and kudos to you if you stayed through the whole thing. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. this beautiful, beautiful town of Oamaru and the Oamaru Blue Penguin Colony. It's been quite a journey. Until next time, we would appreciate it if you'd hit that like and subscribe button and check us out on all of our socials at solsearchercat and our website at solsearchercat.com. And until then, hasta la vista, baby, and keep searching.
I wanna feel alive, manifest the dreams I've kept locked up inside so long. Today I'm here, tomorrow